seeing the live. Oh, there it is. Hi, everyone.
I
We are
first,
so glad to be here finally tonight.
please allow us to apologize. We have had all kinds of technical problems with Google and Chrome and everything else that has just gone wonky. I don't know if there's something astrological going on that's causing all of these issues, but we have persevered and we made it. And here we are, thankfully.
Absolutely.
So,
Good to
welcome.
see everyone. Thank you so much. And Goddess
Thank
Cheryl and Goddess Aida in the chat room. Thank you guys for bearing with us.
thank you so much for bearing with us. In fact, why don't we take a quick second to go in there and tell them that the show is up, just to make sure they know. Are you going to do that for me?
Just did it.
Thank you so much. And so, flustered though we are, welcome again to another Priestess View. I am Goddess Rhonda. And of course, as always, we have with us our beautiful Goddess Star.
Hi, everyone. Good to see you guys here tonight, just as we are very glad to finally be on here for you. Okay?
And believe me when I tell you, it was a battle, but we did not give up.
We were like,
All
okay.
kinds of forces tried to stop us, but we just kept going, and the goddess has rewarded us, rewarded our perseverance. So before we begin, as always, we like to cast a circle of protection around us.
And I'm using my peace and protection incense.
Let's give it a little more juice.
There we go. Get that peace and protection going on. All
Yes,
right.
let's burn that. Okay, now we're ready. All hail, our lords and ladies of the East, my brothers and sisters. My brother and patron, the sacred element of air, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee, my lords and ladies. We charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
So it is. All hail our lords and ladies of the South, my brothers and sisters, my brother and patron, the sacred element of fire. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and protect and respect to thee. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction. From corner to corner and end to end, let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
So it is. All hail, our lords and ladies of the West, my brothers and sisters. My sister and patron, the sacred element of water, namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee, my lords and ladies. I charge thee, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
So it is. All hail, our lords and ladies of the North, my brother and sisters, my sister and patron, the sacred element of earth. Namaste. Divine honor, love, joy, peace, and respect to thee. I charge you, please cause a barrier of protection through all of our walls that face your direction, from corner to corner and end to end. Let peace and protection reign herein. Thank you, and so it is.
So it is. And we now bring down the divine white light from the sacred source of all well-being and fill all of our spaces with peace and protection always. So it is.
So it is.
So welcome back, everyone. Again, we're so glad to be here. Now, last week, we talked about all of the ways to prep yourself for a spell. We went over reasons why your spells may not be working. So if you missed that show, please watch that before you start the spells we're about to give you, because that show gives you lots of tips on how to customize the spells, how to get yourself cleaned up properly, how to bring the energy up. We gave you all kinds of prep work to help you to manifest. And now we're going to give you some actual spells to help you also with that process. That's what tonight's show is for. So
Yes.
we're going to start off with money spells. So Goddess Star,
Yes.
what money spell would you like to share with our listeners today?
Well, one of the things that I would like to suggest to people is I'm going to offer the spell, but I also suggest the days that are best to do money spells. My suggestion is either Tuesday or Wednesdays, or even Thursday, because Tuesday is special to Mars and action, vitality, assertiveness, and courage. And Wednesday is special to Mercury and communication, and money matters, travel, and business. And Thursday is special to Jupiter and leadership, success, and wealth. So, those are 3 days that are really great. It's a suggestion. You can do spells at any time, like we've said in the last video.
Right.
It's just a matter of how you creatively, how do you word it, kind of a thing. But this particular spell, I tend to be very prone to candle spells, because when I do my candle spells, even though some people say that they do spells strictly with herbs or with bath salts or whatever it is, mine is a combination of all of those things, with the candle spell in the middle of it all, like as the center point of it. So with a candle spell, what I would do with this particular one is I would choose, again, it depends on how you feel, because again, in China, red is money. For us in the Western Hemisphere, it's green. So again, whatever it calls to you in terms of color, my suggestion is green, because it's very good in terms of it represents money, or the color of money. Um, uh, and I would suggest a double kind of a thing. This is what I mean in terms of money in general. When you do a candle spell, that I do is I use the green candle and the brown candle. The green candle would have, and you could put the same sigil that you want to carve on both the candles, both brown and green. And sometimes some people have drawn, like, carved like giant dollar sign on it, or that pyramid on the back of the dollar bill, that it has. That's a great sigil that you can draw on a candle for bringing in money as well. Or you can create in a sigil, like how we've done other shows where actually the Universal Candle Project we did. I showed you how to create your own sigil with it. So if you want to draw money into your life, you could create a sigil just from the words. So it depends on what you want to carve on that candle. I tend to use the money oil, or you could combine money and success oil. And the same thing with the incense. I create also a bath salt, of where, I first take a proper bath, washing off everything of residual of the day. And then I do a bath that's made for money, with herbs like basil and bayberry and bay. Lavender is good, and so is rose. All of that, and jasmine is also another great one, and ginger. You can put that into the bath with sea salt, a little bit of Epsom salt as well, and that's the bath that you would do. You can start with that, and if you want, you can do a ritual. It's up to you if you want to do cast a circle and all of that, or you can just do the spell. You can choose the time that's best for you. Some suggest midnight is better. Um, it all depends, in terms of what you think is best. Um, some say midday gives the best power for money and things like that. Again, you choose what's best for you, because you may be at work and you're not able to do this at midday. So it all depends when you want to do it. But anyways, pick what's best for you. Usually it's best if you're quiet at that time and alone, or with someone that you do want to have join you with that spell that the money pertains to. When you do the candle, in the candle jar, usually when I do spell work, I do the 7-day pull out. So when you pull that candle out in the jar itself, that spell is also part of what you're doing inside of the jar, is also part of the spell. the money that is drawn for money that brings money, the actual coins that brings money to people in abundance, is the pennies that were, I think, before 1980, with the copper, the true copper in it. Would you
I think
suggest?
it
Would
was
you think?
for 1970 with the real copper in it.
Right.
It's pretty
If
old.
it has to have, the better if it has the genuine copper in it. So that's from the older pennies, and also the dimes. The dimes are really good for bringing money in as well. So you would choose five of those, either the copper pennies or the dimes, and you will make five wishes. How do you want that money to come to you? And each time you say it, when you put it in the jar, you would make sure to say at the end of the spell, with harm to none. So you're not giving a guiding the spell or the universe to say how you want that money come to you. You're just saying, however it comes to you, let it harm none to come to you. What you would put in the, along with the pennies, or the 5 pennies, or the 5 dimes that you make a wish with, you would add honey in there, tasting it first on your power finger, and you put some in the jar. You would add iron filings, which is again a drawing agent. It draws the energies into the copper and into the spell work. So you would add that. What? Okay, so now we have the coins, the honey, the iron filings. You can add some dragon's blood as well. That's also another great energy to bring into it. That's again your choice with that. You don't need to have the dragon blood, but the rest of it is should be there. And then you can add, you take a tablespoon and you add your money drawing incense and you put it inside of it. You light the incense first. So that way when you put it into the candle jar and you cover your hand on top, it creates a nice smoky effect. And you will then place, now your candle has already been on the side now that you dressed it with a nice carved sigil for money drawing. You put your candle with oil that you've greased it and oiled it with. Add glitter if you want to it. And sometimes what I tend to do is I carve the pentagram on the top and on the bottom of the candle before I then put it inside of the jar. So now you've got the candle in the jar. That's your spell candle. And the reason I suggested doing similar to a brown candle, I believe, I mean, it's not, it's just my belief system with it, that a lot of people tend to do money spells and that money comes in, but it immediately leaves and goes out to pay whatever debts or whatever things. Or I've seen people do spell work where with money and they got it coming in and they're like, but I didn't have this bill before, now I have it. They've, in other words, it came in and went right flushed out. The brown candle is earth and represents earth and its stabilizing effect. So to me, when you burn the green candle for the money to come in, that brown candle stabilizes it and keeps it there so that, yes, it could cover your bills, but there's some sticking around to do other things. Like maybe you want to travel, or I need to go on that vacation, or I would just like to be able to breathe for a minute and know that I've got some money there that's extra hanging around. So that's what the brown and the green candle is for. So you've got both of those candles going. You can add additionally, I would burn some nice either sweet success or money drawing incense that you can burn on the outside if you're doing a casting a circle with it. And you can anoint yourself with money drawing oil as well. And any bills that you have, any dollar bills or $10 bills, whatever it is that you have, currency wise, you can add, anoint a bit of money oil on the top right hand corner of that bill. And that helps to make sure that some of it comes back to you at all times, and keep it flowing. You would like to have it recycling and not just going out and paying things off and you're not having any left. So let's see, we've got the candles, we've got the incense, we've got the oil, and it depends. It's up to you how you want to dress in that when you're casting a circle for this. Some people prefer sky clad for it, some people not. It depends on how you feel about it. But when you are saying anything in terms of the money, say it fervently from your heart what you would like to use that money for. You can even write it down on a piece of parchment paper or brown paper bag that you would take and you could burn in your cauldron with it, and you would send it up into the universe to let the universe decide how that money comes to you. Because the universe, no matter what, will take care of its own. So if you put out that energy with it, say it from your heart what you want to do with that money. You can say what your needs are. Um, you can fervently reach out to any particular god or goddess that deals with money, like Lakshmi or Fortuna. There are many gods and goddesses that you can work with to reach out with to that will bring money in. Um, and you could ask them and tell them what your needs are and see where it goes from there. So you can actually say Goddess Lakshmi, or there are certain chants that you can do with those particular gods and goddesses. So, and then you say what your needs are. So that's one suggestion that I would have, and it's kind of elaborate, I guess. But to me, the more you kind of put into things with spell work, is the more energies you expend with it, and that energies help make whatever that needs to go up into the universe create that spell and make it happen even more fortuitously. I've had people say that the more you work the energies with the candle, you would tend to see the energies that you're putting in. I've actually seen um, the big 7-day candle when I have it in my hand. Now this is a big solid candle, and I'm carving it for what the purposes are, but it's melting almost and bending because of the energies I'm expending into it. So you can do a lot with a spell like this, and believe me, it works. I have seen it work many a time. So goddess guide you with it and bless you guys with that, and I know it will work for you too. And I will, all of this is off the top of my head, so I'll try to remember to write it up, type it up, and you know get you going with it. I think Cheryl will be coming to class on the 30th, and I'll be doing a candle class on spell crafting on the end of this month. So all of this I kind of teach. So a lot of it's going to be off the top of my head. So I hope you get it on the video, because it's going to be hard for me to type all of that up. Okay. What about you, Goddess Rhonda?
All
I know I
right.
talked.
No, that was really good. Everything that you said, I think, um, was great. And I love candle magic, and I love every kind of magic. So, but I
Me too.
burn a tremendous amount of candles to balance out my watery nature. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that. All right. So what we have for the money spell for me is I'm going to teach you how to create an intention plant to get what you want, because all of our riches, gold, silver, the gems, the minerals, all of that comes from the earth. Our food comes from the earth. Everything comes from the earth. And the cool thing about doing an intention plant is that it's live energy that is constantly working for you, because we witches need to learn how to work smarter and not harder. So if you've got this plant that's growing, it's constantly putting that energy out consistently so it can keep the money flowing into you. Now, depending on what your power day is, I was going to say, well, what I feel is the best days, because that's got to start. There are certain days that are good for certain things. Thursdays, Fridays, very good for wealth. Thursday is Jupiter, the good time planet, the planet of wealth. But then we've got Friday that's got Venus, Lord Kabera, the lords and ladies and of wealth, because Venus is the goddess of wealth as well, because she's an earth goddess, and the earth gods and goddesses represent wealth because our riches come from the earth. But instead of telling you to do that, which if you want to go by days that are specifically for money, you can do Thursday, Friday. If it's business, trade, or commerce, you can do Wednesday. If you want to power it up, you can do Tuesday. But your power day based on your assigned element, because we try to get you to customize things. So you can do your spells on your power days that represent your element, because these days are your patron days, the lords and ladies of that day. So look up the gods and goddesses of Tuesdays or Wednesdays, whatever it is, that is your power day. So for earth people, the Capricorns and the Tauruses and such, your earth days are represented by Friday and Saturday. So anything you do on those days is going to help you because you've got the earth, which is your patron. That power is coming out, and that is, those days are your patron days. For air signs, it's Wednesday, the day of Mercury. Wednesday is your power day if you are an air sign, because that day, the entire day rules air. So you can get your spells in. And you can use, no matter what your assigned element is, you can use any of the days. I'm just saying if you want to customize it a little bit more, I'm just breaking it down a little bit more. If you are a fire sign, your days are Tuesday, Mars, Sunday, the sun, of course, and Thursday, Jupiter. These are days of fire, when fire is ruling the world that day. For water, we have Monday, which is of the moon, but we also have Thursday because it also represents Neptune. And Neptune and Jupiter are rulers of Pisces. So Mondays and Thursdays are also good for, if you're a water sign, those days are going to give you extra added power. And if you want to break it down even more, you can do your spell on your power day using the planetary hour every day, even though, for example, today is Monday and it represents water. But every hour represents a planet, and each planet represents different attributes. So let's just say you're a water sign and you want to do a money spell. Well, you can do your money spell on Monday, which is your power day, and you can do it during the hour of Jupiter or the hour of Venus, the money days, the money hours, those planets that represent that. So you get an extra double punch. And the way you can look up on the internet, Google is our friend. You can look up the planetary hours because they change each day. And hours, even though we call them planetary hours, they might not last a whole hour. Like the planetary hour of Venus might only last 45 minutes. So you have to be careful. You want to get all your stuff ready so that by the time that hour begins, you've got all your stuff. Don't wait until the beginning of that hour to start gathering everything up, because by the time you're finished getting everything together, the hour might be over. So you want to beforehand, before that hour. So you can look up the planetary hour and use your power day and get an extra double punch of power with your spell. So with that being said, what you're going to need to create your intention plant is you're going to need a small pot with earth in it, seeds that carry the money energy custom to your assigned element. We're going to get to that in a minute. A small piece of paper, like a Post-it, just something small to write your petition on. Some cleaned, crushed egg shells. So the next time you make eggs, rinse them out, wash them out really good, crunch them up, because the earth, they're excellent fertilizer. I don't know if you remember your mom throwing eggshells or coffee grinds into the garden because it helps them to grow more. And then 2 green votive candles. And I say votive candles, but you can use 7-day candles if you like. You can choose the candle size of your choosing. I just chose votive candles because I like smaller candles too. So now, depending on what your assigned element is, which is, again, assigned through your birth sign. So, for example, if you're a Pisces, you're water. If you're Aries, you're fire. Capricorn is earth, and Gemini is air, and so on. If you are an earth sign, the money, the seeds to get, and you can get seeds for anything on eBay. I can get any kind of seed I want on eBay, and cheap too. Seeds are really cheap, $1, $2, and usually free shipping. So you won't have to spend a lot of money. So if you're an earth sign, the seeds that you want to try to get are fern, wheat, or wheatgrass, because wheatgrass is a form of wheat, tulips, potatoes, beets, or peas. If you want to do this in your vegetable garden and have food to go with it, potatoes, beets, and peas. And those are root vegetables too, so they're right into the earth, the potatoes and the beets, so that they actually can work even better for you. If you're an air sign, the seeds you want to get are bergamot, clover, mint, lavender, or sage. So those are for the air signs. For fire signs, you can use ginger root, and you can actually get a piece of ginger root from the store and break off one of those little nodules and plant that. Anything that's a root or the rhizome kind of a thing, you can go ahead with, because it's not a seed, you can go ahead and put your energies into that root instead of the seeds, because it's the root that you're planting, the bulb that you're planting that turns into the root. So you can use that. So again, for fire, we've got ginger, basil, dill, juniper, if you've got a juniper bush outside, or garlic. You can plant garlic. And if you're a water sign, you can actually use lucky bamboos, which actually grow in water. They can grow in earth too, but I have a lot of lucky bamboo plants that bring money. And because even you can buy the plant already grown, because with the lucky bamboos, I just happen to have one here. With the lucky bamboos, you have access to the roots. So you can put your intentions right into the roots. So you don't have to worry about growing that from seed since you have access to the roots. Just put that back over here. Nice little home.
Awesome.
Where it can keep working for me. Okay, so that's that. And also you can make a water terrarium. Now I'm going to put these links into the chat room because these are the most beautiful terrariums and they come with instructions. I'm going to put this in here. And the cool thing about a terrarium is terrariums are self-supporting ecosystems. They're plants. I tried to figure out how to put pictures in the chat room. I couldn't figure it out, but I'll put them in our Facebook group. The plants have actually a cover. They're in like a glass container with a cover. You never have to water it. It creates its own ecosystem. It makes it like its own little rainforest. And they're absolutely beautiful. But the important thing is, since the energy is self-supporting, you want to be a fully self-supporting person. So having the terrarium puts that fully self-supporting energy out all the time. So you can make a terrarium if you like to, and there's water terrariums and there's earth terrariums. So I'm going to put these in here. You can check out the pictures and the instructions so that you can learn how to make a terrarium. So let me just put that in there so that you have that and you can take a look. I am personally going to make the little mini lotus terrarium because that was just awesome. Okay, so we've got one. Oh, I thought I had put both. Okay, I'm missing just one. Bear with me for just 1 minute, please. I thought I had put them both in, but apparently I did not. Okay, let's put this one.
I gotta see what that looks like.
Please do. Oh, actually, I did put both of the things, and it just didn't look right. Okay, never mind. If you want to see the little growing lily water plant terrarium, click on the second link. It is so beautiful.
Okay.
But you can look at all of them on the first link and the second link. It's going to show these beautiful plants that you can make. I'm going to do, I've always done the open plants, but now I want to do a terrarium now because it's going to keep growing. It doesn't require any maintenance, and it carries the energy.
Wow, look at that. It's
of being
beautiful.
fully self-supporting. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh,
And they're
wow,
very,
yeah.
very easy to create. Easy to create, cheap to create. So please, by all means, you can do that too. So now I've given you your power days, the planetary hours, what to plant for each of your elements. And now we're going to go into our instructions. So for your instructions, what you want to do is, if you're going to do a potted plant, then get yourself a nice little pot and inscribe onto the pot the symbols of the earth to honor our dear sister Earth. And you're also going to put those symbols on, you're going to carve them into your votive candle, as well as the amount of money that you're trying to bring in. And for example, if you want to bring, let's just say I want to make $1,000 a week, then you'll inscribe that, you'll put the symbol of the earth, and I charge thee to create $1,000 a week for me consistently. You can use your own wording that resonates with you. Now, as far as the symbol for the earth, there are many different symbols from different cultures that represent the earth. So I'm posting a link of the different images of earth symbols, and you can choose the one that resonates with you. I didn't want to choose one for you because I just feel like we're trying to teach you how to customize. So I want you to choose the one that resonates and means something with you, because that's what's going to give it its power, is your being aligned with it, which one you want to use. So choose one of the earth element symbols that I posted on the link, or if you want to investigate other ones from different cultures, by all means, you can go ahead and do that. So you're going to paint on your pot the symbol of the earth. You can use a green paint or the color that represents the earth to you. I will let you choose that since we're customizing it to you. And you're also going to put that symbol, that same symbol, onto your votive candle, and also the amount of money that you need. So if you need a lump sum, I need $500, $5,000, when you need it by, so forth and so on. So now on your little Post-it note, or whatever little piece of paper that you choose to use, you're going to write you're going to write a petition, write small. It's just going to be a little petition. So you're going to write your petition for what it is that you want, when you need it by, or you can ask for a continuous flow of money. If you just want a continuous flow, you want to make $1,000, $500 a week, you can do that. Or if you need $600 to fix your car, you can do that. However it is that you want to word it. It's up to you if you want a lump sum or if you want a continuous flow, whichever resonates with you. But just be sure to be specific of what you want. I even put on there, my specific request to you is. This way there is no wondering, there's no misunderstanding. This is what I want. And so you're going to put on there what it is that you want on your petition. But then you also, on the opposite side of the petition, you're also going to put the earth symbol that you have chosen to put the power also into it. Now, when you write your petition, take your phone or a camera and take a picture of the petition, because once you bury it, you're still going to need to read that petition. So you can take a picture of it so that once you bury it, then you can use your phone to read the petition out loud once you have everything set up. So you're going to write your petition about your lump sum that you want and when you need it by, or the amount of money that you want each week. Or if you just want to say, I want a continuous flow of money each week, and you don't want to put, some people won't put a dollar amount on it because they, oh, if you put a dollar amount on it, it can restrict you. You could have gotten more, but you only put $500. You know, whatever resonates with you. I tend to be very specific if I need money for a specific thing, but I also have things going to just keep a continuous flow of money. So you can actually do two spells. You can do one to keep the money flowing in, and then you can do one to get that emergency lump sum that you need by a specific time. I've got actually several spells going always at the same time, so you can do that. And don't forget to take a picture of it before you plant it. Okay, so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to infuse the earth with your desire. And you're going to take your atme or your sharp object, or even just your power finger, if you like, and you're going to insert it into the earth. And you're going to say, or you can paraphrase me. You don't have to use my exact words. You can use the words that resonate with you. My dear sacred patron, element of earth, I have need of thee. Please be the womb of my desires, and grant that they grow to full fruition and manifest that which I require. And then read your petition to the earth so that she knows what you want. Then you're going to take your seeds, whichever seed you're using, or if you're using a root or bowl, you're going to hold that in your hand, and you're going to infuse the seeds or the roots with your desire. And you can just say, thank you so much in advance for your divine assistance. I make this specific request for $500 a week, $600 to fix my car, a continuous flow of money coming to me. And I always add in there, always through positive ways and means. Thank you. I used to put harm none, but I take those words very seriously. And so if my subconscious is, well, if I get $600, maybe someone else who needed it more than me might need that money, then I'm harming them by getting it. I've just negated my spell. I feel better saying always through positive ways and means. That makes me feel better, and this way I'm not hexing my own spell. But if you're comfortable with saying harming none, by all means say it. You don't have to be a literalist like me. Or you can say always through positive ways and means, and you don't have to worry about hurting anybody. And you don't have to worry about those words hurting your spell because of your subconscious belief of what those words mean. So you're infusing the earth, you're infusing your seeds. Please grant me this through positive ways and means, and thank you very much. And then now be careful before you do anything with your seeds. You want to read your seed packet instructions because some seeds require you just to sprinkle them on top of the earth, while others require you to actually plant them. And they might say plant it 1/4 of an inch deep, 2 inches deep. So make sure you read the instructions so you know exactly how to plant your seeds, because you don't want to go through all this, plant the seeds wrong, and then your plant doesn't grow. So make sure you read those instructions and then you can follow it accordingly. So now what you want to do next is you want to dig a small hole about halfway into the pot, and you're going to place a small amount of crushed eggshells in it. Use the amount that feels right to you. I'm going to let you do that. When you feel like that's right, then you can do, because I don't measure things. I put in what I feel is right for me, what I feel is right for the, even for the moment. I could do the same spell 3 times and use different amounts depending on what I feel. Maybe I need a little extra of something else one day or whatever. So do what feels right for you, but always write down what you're doing, because if you do it 3 different ways and one works better, then at least you have that spell. And there's nothing worse than doing this great spell and not knowing how to recreate it. That really sucks. So write down always what you're doing, since you're just using different measurements and such. So once you dig your hole about halfway into the pot, you place your crushed eggshells in it, and you're going to say, "My dear sister and patron Earth, please accept these shells as an offering. May they enrich and bless you and empower the spell even more." And then place your petition on top of it. Now, if it says you can put the seeds into the hole, you can go ahead and put your seeds in, or you can cover it up, sprinkle them on top. Or if, because you're putting the shells and the petition halfway into the pot, but your seeds say it goes in 1/4 of an inch deep, you can fill it in until it's just 1/4 of an inch and do it that way. But make sure you place your seeds properly and cover them up or sprinkle them on top based on the instructions. And if you're using a root plant, you can just go ahead and put it in with your petition and eggshells, because the bulbs and the rhizomes have to get in there pretty deep, so you'll be okay. So next, you're going to place your votive candles that you have already inscribed with the earth symbols and the amount of money that you need, and you're going to place them on either side of the pot, and you're going to light them. Now is when you'll need your picture of your petition, because you're going to read it again to this while the candles are burning, while the seeds are being planted. And you can make an offering. You can put a glass of wine or some fruits out there also as an offering as you're doing your spell. Once you read your petition, you make your offerings, and then when the candles go out, this is very important, eat the fruit and drink the wine. I know in a lot of cultures that's like, oh, you put this as an offering and now you're going to eat it, how dare you. However, in other cultures such as Hinduism, you eat those blessed fruits and you drink that blessed liquid, because that is now infused with the spells. You are taking it now into your body. It becomes a part of your energy that you're putting out. So you actually become a walking spell by drinking that or eating that fruit, because now you're putting that in, you have ingested it, and now you're putting it out yourself. Now, if your particular tradition frowns on that, then you don't have to do that. It's up to you. I go ahead and do it. So, and I've actually had a lot better things happen by doing that. But again, you have to do what resonates with you. If it doesn't feel right for you to do that, or you feel badly, then don't bother to do it. All right, so now you've got everything going. You're going to nurture your plants, make them grow, talk to them, tell them what you want, befriend your plants. Now, I got this little wheatgrass plant just to give you an idea. So, if you've already put your petition and your seed, you've made your offering. Now your petition, that energy becomes a part of the roots. Now you've got all these little wands, these little live wands, projecting out all the energy that you want to project out to get that money that you want. All of these are just little live wands putting that out. And so this is wheatgrass, which I happen to love to use because it represents wheat, fertility, and prosperity. But you can use wheatgrass or the seeds that I told you to get, or you can look up your own seeds that you feel resonate with you. If you don't want to use the ones that I suggested, by all means, use the ones that resonate with you. And as your plants mature, you can cut off, the leaves, the flowers, and the stems. Always, before you cut anything off, remember, this is a live being. Just because you can't hear it say ouch doesn't mean it cannot feel pain. So you want to anesthetize the plant before you cut anything off. And you can just, what I do, before I even cut a piece of fruit or cut into a vegetables or anything, I put my hands over it and say, thank you for your sacrifice. May this be painless for you. Anesthetize, 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 numb, 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 so that it doesn't feel any pain as I cut it off. And you can cut off the plants, the stems, and the leaves, and the flowers, dry them out, and then you can create an incense from them. You can create a bath where you want to get, you want to put if you're going to use plants or herbs, you might want to get yourself an empty tea bag or what do they call, cheesecloth to put them in. Because if you happen to have hairy, some people are very hairy. And if you just sprinkle the herbs into the bath, it's not going to be fun picking them out of your arm hair and whatever else. So you can put it in some cheesecloth or an empty out a tea bag and put them in there so that they're not floating around and get caught up in your hair that you have to get them out. Or you can you can create an incense out of them. And the reason that I say use the entire plant, the stems, the leaves, the flowers, is because a lot of people will just use the flowers to make their incense. But you're trying to create a path from point A to point B. And if you look at the entire flower is going to help you do that. Each component adds to your spell. So for example, a leaf. The main job of a leaf is to make food for the plant. And it does this by using the sunlight for energy, and it takes apart the water from the ground and carbon dioxide from the air. Leaves use parts of the water and carbon dioxide to make sugar, and this food making is called photosynthesis. So you need that leaves to provide you with the nurture and the nutrition, to nurture your spell and give it nutrition to feed the spell, because that's what it's there for. Water gets through the leaf through a set of pipes inside the tree. So it needs those leaves to help it get the water and everything that it does. The stems also do a lot of things. They support the plant. They act as the plant's plumbing system. They conduct the water and the nutrients from the roots and the food. So it's the entire plant that can help the entire process of your spell. The flower just represents the end result. But you're on a journey. So you need all this help to get you where you're going. So use the entire plant when you're creating your incense. And so now you've got a plant that's going to continuously put out live energy for you. Plus, you'll be able to cut off some of the flowers and the stems and the leaves to create baths. You can create incenses for yourself. If you're using something edible, you can create teas that you can drink and infuse yourself with that energy so that you can put it out every day all by itself. So that is how you can make yourself a money intention plant. And so that's my money spell for the day. Next up, we have job spells. So Goddess Star, what have you got for jobs?
Well, it's interesting because the money spell is very similar to how you would do a job spell, but with a little nixing of it a bit.
Mm-hmm.
So if you recall some of the things that I said with the money, now you would kind of go with a job, because you can take that same money candle and you could add money on the side of it, like the dollar sign or whatever, or that pyramid like I mentioned to you. And you can, on the other side of it, again, don't forget, you can carve as many sigils as you want on a candle. You can carve on the other side a job or a sigil for a job. Please find me the job that's appropriate for my knowledge, or the best job for my that I need for my means to support myself. Anything like that that you can word, and you could say it for what you need. One suggestion, there are things that you can add to that spell, like for instance, when you have a resume, you can add some job oil to it that you can create. And some of the best recipes that you can create, just go through books and Google whatever. And again, Google is your friend. You can Google herbs that are great for money. Or again, we have suggestions in the sense of basil is great, lavender, let's see, bayberry bay. Um, all of those things are great for money. So there you have a recipe right there, just with some of the herbs that I mentioned. So you will have, for instance, you take those herbs, you make yourself a nice oil or an incense, and that oil you would take and place on the right top corner of your resume. Now you place it in a way that it does not in any way damage the resume, so that it can be passed on. But believe me, that smell of it, people have actually said that employers have said it gave off such a nice smell that they kept going back to the resume for whatever reasons that they wanted to. So there's that. You can also, some people tend to rub some of the job oil on their palm of their hands. So when they go to that interview, they would shake the interviewer's hands and passing the vibes on that this is the job that's right for me. And I'm sure that you would think that this is the right job for me as well. Um, there are suggestions that some people take, I think it's Paragot, that they would take with them to Paragot Stone, that will take with them to job interviews. It's supposed to bring vibrations for good job or good employment. One of the things that you want to do when you're doing it is also kind of indicate what kind of monies you need, because you may get that job and then it's not the right kind of income for you. So you kind of have to indicate in some ways what it is you want from that spell when you write your little petition that you're going to write for the job spell that you're doing. Make sure to indicate what's the minimum requirement or what is your ideal requirement of income, because you don't want to set yourself up in a job where you're not able to make ends meet or you're not able to cover your bills. So basically, to me, a job spell is tweaking a money spell a bit to fit what your needs are and what your requirements, and your petition will also entail what type of job. And make sure that you also, one of the things I would suggest to people is you would be realistic with yourself. You're not going to put yourself or set yourself up for a job to be interviewed that you're not qualified for. So be realistic. Make sure to put down what your attributes are, what you think you are good at, what you know you are good at, so that when you put your best foot forward from the very beginning, that gives you even more opportunities for the universe to open up and give you the best shot at it. If that's supposed to fall into your lap, basically, as to what your needs are and as to what your job's requirement that you fit. One of the things I would suggest too is add a boost of confidence to yourself. Put a little bit of cinnamon or jasmine oil on your body. Of course, when it comes to cinnamon, cinnamon is very sensitive. So if you think your skin cannot tolerate it, sometimes the palm of your hand is the best thing, because palm of your hand, the skin there is a little bit more harder, or is it tougher? I'm not sure if the words are correct, in the sense of what it can tolerate as opposed to your back of your hand where the skin is. So see what you can tolerate. But cinnamon is very good for putting out the idea of this is right for me. This is what I need. This would help my needs. So that's one of the things that you can use for it. If you, let's see, what else can you do with jobs? High John the Conqueror bean. A lot of people say that they walk around with that when they're trying to get that good job that they're trying to get. that is something that they carry around in a charm bag, as a charm while they're going to go for job interviews. So, I mean, a lot of these things tend to work for people. I've heard from people telling me that it works for them. I have never really tried it much because I haven't really worked for people very often. I've always tend to kind of work for myself. So, but it is from the results and from people that I've heard back is that a lot of these things have worked for them. Um, let's see, I'm trying to think of what else. Well, how about you, Rhonda? What are some of the things that you can just suggest that maybe I can kind of feed off of that and figure out some more additional things to to
No
add to that one
problem.
regarding the jobs?
No problem. Okay, so what I have for jobs, and I really thought about this, I was trying to figure out, write down different things, and then I remembered something very important, especially if you are a witch or any kind of a metaphysical person or metaphysically inclined. One of the reasons why you might not get a job, and this happened to me, I'm talking also from personal experience, is because in 2011, I'm going to put this link into the chat room so that you can look it up and read it. In 2011, Neptune went into Pisces. And even if you are not a Pisces, it still is affecting anyone who has a metaphysical nature. And what happens is Neptune, which is one of the rulers of Pisces, is the planet of the metaphysician, of the witches. It's a planet of magic, of the hidden, of the secrets, of the things that we do. And what happened in 2011 when Neptune went into Pisces is if you are of a metaphysical kind of a nature, Neptune is not going to let you get a job unless it's doing something, being of service in some kind of a way. So let's just say you spent all of your life as, I don't know, a paralegal in a corporate law firm. And you've done it for 30 years. Now, all of a sudden, you lost your job and now you can't find a new one. That could be Neptune saying, you know what, you had a good run as a paralegal. However, now it's time for you to be of service. You need to do something else in the service field. So I looked up some things for the Neptune in Pisces. Neptune governs hospitals, prisons, mental institutions, military, monasteries, temples, or any kind of spiritual type of a retreat or organization. It encompasses all areas of metaphysics, such as psychic medium work, healing, energy work, counseling, advocacy, civil rights. Neptune also rules charities. Neptune is the planet of illusion, so it works very well with acting and modeling. You need a lot of illusion for those fields. And or as long as the field is of service to mankind in some kind of a way, it will be easier for you as metaphysicians to get yourself a job. So you can look for jobs within any of these types of fields. But if you are, we're going to break it down again by what your element, what your assigned element is going to. I was going to do it by your actual zodiac sign, but it was going to take too long. So we're just going to break it down through your assigned element. So if you are an earth sign, look for a job in some sort of the creative arts, like cooking, dancing, singing, acting, writing. You can do writing for metaphysical types of magazines or blogs, or start a page or something with that. Start your own metaphysical practice. If you know you've always been kind of psychic, but you're kind of chicken to go out and become one, now is the time to become a psychic. And when I say I speak from personal experience, I've always had my metaphysical practice, but I was in banking for many, many years, over 20 years as a mortgage underwriter. And all of a sudden, in 2000, just about at 2011, I could no longer find a job in the mortgage industry. And no matter what I did, and I was very stubborn about it, I kept trying. It's what I did all my life. It paid me lots and lots of money. Now all of a sudden that was all gone, and I'd start from scratch. And finally, when all of my options ran out, I said, well, you know, I've always been a metaphysician, a healer, a psychic. I'm just going to go ahead and do that full time. I'm going to hire myself. And as soon as I did that, everything took off. I didn't worry about, well, what if it doesn't work, or what if no one comes to me? There was no other option. I had no choice but to give it a shot. And I did, and I cannot be happier. I'm so happy that I did that. So, and that has happened to a lot of people who were in, I guess, normal or corporate structured kinds of jobs. Suddenly that job was gone, and they couldn't figure out why, and they kept trying to get into that same field again and again and again, and they kept getting the boot or rejected, because Neptune is like, no, that's not what you're supposed to be doing now. And Neptune will be in Pisces until 2026. So we've
Oh
got
my
a
goodness.
long road to
Right.
go. So
Well,
you
I
want to,
guess that happened to me too then.
yes. Do you have a similar story?
Oh yes, because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, yes, I tried doing the metaphysical. I had my own store and everything because I had the calling for it. And I was doing real estate and I was doing really, really well at it for a good almost 15 years in Manhattan.
Uh-huh.
And then all of a sudden, I could not do for beans what I normally did
Right,
every day,
right.
and it's just that I needed to do what I needed to do. And even a friend of mine, Jeanette, she's an extremely amazing astrologer. And she said to me, Star, I'm sorry, but it's time for you to do what you need to do. You started this in your last lifetime. It's time. It says you have to continue it now.
Right.
Oh my goodness, I'm not prepared for this. But, it is what it is. And actually, it took me some time, but I fell into it, accepting the name for myself and the priestess role and all the different things. And it's just what it is. Somehow things get paid. Somehow things get, done what they need to get done. Um, so it's just, she basically said to me, I don't have a choice. This is when I'm supposed to start off with this now in my life. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like you with trepidation. I'm like going, okay,
Yes.
um, you know, okay, I don't have a choice, so I just have to jump right in. And as usual with everything else, I just jump head first in and I kind of get going with
Exactly.
ground off. And I'm running from the ground off, going, this is it. I'm ready to go.
That's it. You
You just
jump
gotta
in
do what you gotta
and
do.
you worry about swimming later. Either I'm going to swim or
Yep,
I'm not going to swim, but I'm sure as
yep.
hell getting in the water. Whatever
And I
happens,
have a
I'm
quick
getting
bath.
in. And so I really just, there was no other options. It was either do something or become homeless. And so I had to just go ahead and do it. And I was amazed at how all of a sudden the money to cover my bills came in so I could get my business to grow. The universe supported me because it booted me right out of banking, which really is of no real service much to anybody. It's corporate greed, basically, and forced me to do this full time. And the same thing could be happening to you. So if you start looking for jobs based on your elements or based into into metaphysics, when Neptune was in Pisces before, which I believe was 150 years ago, that was when the Ouija board was created. Spiritualists, where there was a huge rising in spiritualists and metaphysics. And so this is your time, but you're going to have to look for a job that's going to be in alignment, that it's still going to feed your wallet, feed your soul, and still be of service. So again, if you are an earth sign, creative arts, cooking, dancing, singing, acting, and if you're going to do singing roles, you can create metaphysical songs. Um, Acting, you can get metaphysical parts. Like if you're an actor, now would be the time, if there was another Lord of the Rings, to apply for that, because you would probably get that job because it's mystical, metaphysical. If you're an air sign, air likes technology to do with any of the above fields or any job within those fields that utilize your brain, because air is up here, it's mental based, it's cerebral. So if you're a computer expert, you can apply for technology work in a hospital, a charitable organization, something that still, you might not be the one who's actually of service, but you're supporting that service-based industry. So you can look for technology jobs in fields that are service-based, and you could probably find something to do with that. If you're a fire sign, anything to do with law enforcement, military, security, using your own strength. Law enforcement is very is service-oriented. Fire department, even if you're not feel like you're not physically strong enough to do that actual work, you can be a receptionist in a police station. As long as you're in a field that is of service or protecting people, you can go ahead and apply for jobs looking for that, and you have a better chance of Neptune supporting you and getting in. And if you're a water sign, any kind of healing work, psychic work, counseling, advocating for the homeless and the abused, anything like that, you can do that as well. So also with fire, you can even become an attorney if you're a civil rights attorney or working in a civil rights organization, because you're of service to the people. You're defending the people, the underdog. So looking for jobs within those fields based on your particular element, then you can go ahead and you'd probably have a better shot at getting those kinds of jobs with the Neptune in Pisces. It'll make it easier for you to get that job. So once you've decided now what job you're going to go for, what you're going to do is you're going to create what we call an action plan. And what you do, and this can get you a job within 2 weeks. So you just take a plain old piece of paper from your printer. They say it should be unlined paper. I don't know if that makes a difference, but I figured why risk it? Just use the unlined if you have it. And you're going to fold it in half. So now what you do is each corner you're going to number. So we're going to put 1 right here in this corner. I don't know how well you can see that. And then you're going to open it up. And on the other corner, you're going to put 2, and then 3, and then 4. So you've got one side, then you've got 2, 3, and 4 to create your action plan. So on your first side, you're going to put on the first side, my perfect job. And then underneath that, you're going to write down everything that, all of the attributes you want in that job. The salary that you want, the idea of the location of where you want to work, or if you want to be a home-based person. A lot of people are doing telecommuting now. So you can maybe get a job working out of your house if you have a computer. The position that you want, the kind of boss that you want, the kind of coworkers you want around you, everything that you can think of that you want in this job. You're going to go ahead, you're going to put it under my perfect job, and you're going to write that all on page 1. Then you're going to open it up, and then on the side that you numbered as page 2, you're going to put on there, what about this job makes me tick? And you're going to put, why do you want this particular job? What about this job engages your passion? Because you're now bringing out why I want this job and the energy that goes with it. You're reinforcing that. How will this job allow you to be of service to yourself and others? How will this job improve your life? What components of the job make you happy? You're going to write down everything, all the reasons why you want this job, why you are so passionate about having this job. On the side that you have marked as 3, you're going to put, what do I need to do to find my perfect job? And you're going to list the actions that you're going to take to find that job. Computer searches, talking to people that you know, sending out resumes, talking to headhunters, casting spells, manifestation spells, getting your friends to cast the spell for you. Whatever it is, you're going to write down and commit to doing that to help you get this job. And then on your 4th page, you're going to put your affirmation. I now happily and greatly accept all of the opportunities coming my way that will bring me the job of my dreams that I so deserve. May it help me be of better service to myself and others. And then all you have to do is keep this by your pillow, so that as soon as you wake up in the morning, you read your paper, you read all 4 sides, put it down, get up, go about your day. When you go to bed at night, pick up your action plan, read all 4 sides, takes a couple of minutes, put it down, and go to sleep. Because 30 minutes before you go to sleep, 30 minutes after you wake up, within those time, your subconscious is more open to being reprogrammed. And basically what you're doing is you're reprogramming your subconscious. Your subconscious rules 88% of what you do, and it does not like change. So if you've been in the corporate world for 30 years and now you want to become a psychic, your subconscious like, no, we don't want to do that. We want to be in the corporate world. So by you constantly reading this, when the subconscious is open to suggestion, you're changing the subconscious energies that are going out. And it really can help you to get a job within 2 weeks if you follow this plan. So that is my spell to get you the job that you want, remembering about the Neptune in Pisces. And it's happened to a lot of people that suddenly found themselves displaced from their corporate jobs or miserable in their corporate jobs, and now they have to find something else. So if you look in the service field, any way that you are of service, or if that organization is of service, because it's a Neptune kind of a thing, you should be able to do better getting that job. So
Right.
that's my job thing for my job
Yeah.
spell for you.
Well, we have in the chat room, we've got Goddess Aida and Lord Lowland said, well, if you can read what Goddess Aida said, but Lowland also said, how can he add glamour to combine in with what we mentioned about the money spell, or even, I guess, with the job? I'm thinking, I'm not sure if that's what he was questioning. Correct, Lowland? Was that with the job or the money? But I know it pertains to money. So how can he add glamour to that? Now, one of the things, I mean, my part of on take
Oh,
on
I can tell
that,
you how to do that.
huh?
No, I was going to suggest something, but go ahead, say what you're saying.
No, what I was going to say to that, well, maybe you should say your part because mine will kind of add to that at the end, because mine was more like, especially when it comes to glamour, when it comes to jobs, or um, not so much the money, but the jobs itself. Glamour, my suggestion is not to use glamour with that one so much, because that would mean the entire time you have the job, you might have to use glamoring to keep that job. And I don't want you to necessarily depend on the glamoring for that. Just let them see your worth. I mean, that's my take on it with that. Um, I mean, I would not normally suggest someone do glamoring with a job spell. But maybe, like you said, you know an answer to that. Maybe you have a different take on it, Goddess Rhonda.
Well, we glamour all the time, whether, well, no matter what it's for, we're always working some kind of a glamour spell. When people get up and go to work, they don't just get up, throw their clothes on, and go. No, they put on their face, they put on their makeup, they do their hair, they put on a certain cologne, they put on all these things.
Right.
And so that in itself is automatically a glamour spell, because it's not really you. You're
Right.
not getting out there plain faced and, in your rumpled
Right.
up clothes like you get up in the morning. No, you are glamoring up to get out there so that you can make a good impression. Even if you feel like crap inside, you're going to put on your
Right.
makeup, you're going to do your hair, you're going to look good. Now, if you're going to, since you're already glamoring anyway to go to work, go ahead, and if you use a certain cologne, go ahead and charm that cologne with the energies of what it is that you're trying to bring in. Those colognes are made from essential oils and plant products, so they carry life force energy. You can go ahead and use that, power it up, so that you have that working for you if you're going into a job interview. When you walk into a job interview, they don't want you like, oh my God, I really need this job. Can you please give me this job? And you're all slumped over. They're going to be like, no. But if you walk in there like, you don't need the job. Hello, I'm Goddess Rhonda. I am here to look into this position that you have. And you ask questions and you seem interested and you're engaged. And now you've got your charmed perfume going or your aftershave going. You could even wear power colors, the colors that are power to you based on your sign or your element, to give you, power you up even more. And if you want to put on a little John the Conqueror oil, because that makes you the master of the situations. So instead of the interviewer having the power, you're going to turn that around. You're going to be asking the questions. You're going to be interviewing them, because it makes you the master of all situations. So you can do that. Or you can put a little bit of oil on your throat chakra, because when you speak, when you're talking, if you put your fingers on your throat, you feel the vibration, it's buzzing, your voice box
Right.
is buzzing. So when you're putting oil, a charmed oil on that, as you're speaking, that's sending that buzzing, that vibration out through the oil. You can do it that way using your throat chakra. as well. So
Right.
there's different ways that you can do that to get a job. A way that I have found to bring money to me very quickly is in my mind. I superimpose my face. Now, you can laugh at me if you want, but it works. I superimpose my face over the face on the $100 bill. I actually see
Okay.
myself with my face on that $100 bill, and I feel that energy that I'm putting out, and I say $100 bills flow around me and to me constantly. I'm surrounded by $100 bills. They flow to me constantly. I've always got them. They're flowing into my hands. $100 bills are constantly flowing to me. And you're going to find all of a sudden you're going to be getting $100 bills from people.
Right. Right.
So you can
Well,
do glamour that way.
right, right. Lolan kind of clarified. He said he was thinking of terms of the glamoring on the in the chat room. He said in terms of both. He wanted to be. It's a very competitive job industry, and he needs to win over everyone else. Um, so both money and job is what he was basically saying. Um,
Well, then by all means, if you are wearing, if you wear a certain cologne, men's cologne, excuse me, if you wear a certain men's cologne, go ahead and charm that cologne up with something that's going to bring you success. So if you want to engage with the energies of the planets, well, you can get orange candles, which represent the sun and success. And you can get an orange or citrus-based male cologne that you can charge up between the orange candles. You can inscribe into the candles what it is that you want. Put the cologne in the middle of it so that those energies convey overnight. Put on your cologne, put some a little bit on your voice box, and walk out. And that in itself is going to power you up. Or you can take that charmed cologne and mix in a little dot of High John the Conqueror, making you the master of the situation, making you the
right.
one that stands out. And I also take, I have a picture of the World card, the World Tarot card. And right, I don't know if you can picture it in your head, but it's like the woman and she's got like the two wands. Right here, by her solar plexus, I have my picture there so that she's sending out my energy to the world to help me
Get what you need. The
get what
universe.
I need
Yeah.
or get more followers or whatever it is. So there's a lot of ways that you can do that and beat the competition, because chances are the competition isn't going to charm up their aftershave, their cologne. They're not going to wear the power colors. They're not going
Right.
to have their action plan. If you, Lo, if you create an action plan for this job with the VA and start reading it now just through the power of your thoughts, you can get that job. So there's a lot of different ways that you can incorporate glamoring into the spell. Now, I understand also what Goddess Star was saying. You don't want to be phony. You still want to be authentic. You want people to see your authentic self, or at least your authentic energy. But there's also no reason why you can't, since you're glamoring up anyway, you might as well charm all the things that you
Right.
have and walk in there with a toolkit ready to kick ass and get that job.
One of the things I will suggest though is, because especially when it comes to, I've not seen it much with women, but with men especially, um, the aftershave or your cologne can be extremely strong, because I remember interviewing someone at one of the real I was the manager at one of the real estate companies, and after the person left, the gentleman left, we all were like, okay, it's so strong we would not be able to work around this person, and we never called him back. He probably had attributes, but all we smelled was how overpowering his cologne was. He's the kind of person you smelled the cologne before you saw him. And
Wow.
that happens a lot to men, that they do. And so I think in terms of that and how much it turned us off, instead of enamoring us to him, it instead made us, we didn't even want to listen to much of what he said. It was just too overpowering, which a lot of men tend to do.
Yeah, well, don't
So,
douse yourself, in your cologne. Just, it doesn't have to be overpowering, because remember, you're working with the energies. It's the scent isn't that important. It's the energy that's coming
right.
from the flowers that cologne was made out of. So a little dab will do you. I don't like sitting next to a man or a woman that smells
Yeah,
like
but
they
that's
just
too
dumped a
much.
bottle of
Right.
perfume on their head. That kills my sinuses. So it's
Right.
not necessary for you to douse yourself in this perfume so that you lose the job before you even get the job. You can just put on a small amount, and that's of your charmed oil or your cologne, and that should be
Yeah.
enough because it's the energy of the plants in the cologne that is putting out the energies that you're trying to get. So, don't spritz the half the bottle. It's not necessary. But go ahead and charm up the things that you're using to help you with that. And do the action plan that I just gave you so that now you're also subconsciously putting out the energy of why you should have this job.
Right.
So that can help you with that.
Okay. Aida, goddess Aida had, I forgot what she said. I am a fire sign and I work. Okay, I'm not getting the whole thing yet. Hold on. I am a, where is she? I am so sorry, goddess Aida. 1 second. I'm not seeing it. Do you see it? Oh, there it is. I am a fire sign and I work in vocational rehabilitation counseling. I was looking at applying to the VA to be a VR counselor for disabled vets. I wonder if that falls in alignment with my sign.
Yes, it does. And the reason that it falls in alignment with your sign is because you are offering service to people of the military. The military, you hear a lot of nasty things about the police officers nowadays, but for every one nasty police officer, there's 100 or 1,000 that are doing a good job, that are
Good
trying
job. Yeah.
to be of good service. And because the military and the police officers are of service, especially the vets, they were willing to take a bullet and die for you, even though they don't even know you. I'm
Right.
sitting here on my butt, sitting here talking to you. Meanwhile, overseas, they're battling it out to save my ass. So they are truly of service because they're prepared to die for strangers. And you being
Yes.
of service to them
To them is even more
is
powerful.
even more powerful. So absolutely, if you want to go ahead and apply for the kid to be a counselor for disabled vets, because you're defending them, you're defending their emotional good health, you're defending their mental good health, that is perfect with the Neptune
Yes.
and Pisces because you are being of service to those who
To,
are of service.
right.
And there is
Right.
a very few higher calling than to be of service to those who
To the
are
vet.
of
Yes.
service.
Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a lot of them that are in need of these services and they're not even in the system to get it. It's such a, I don't even know how to put it. I know so many of them that are either homeless or different things that it's very disheartening to see that their country is not supporting them. So for you to be able to do a job like that, I think you'd be excellent at it. So you should give that a try. And I know Goddess Mermaid Star also said um, she was wondering about the High John the Conqueror oil. What was it that you? Well, the High John the Conqueror oil is from the actual root or the High John itself. Sorry, I'm trying to go back and forth between the chat room. It's from the actual High John root. It's very, very hard. But people, you were asking about the oil. They actually infuse it or they put it into almond oil is a great oil for job and business and money. So they intend to infuse that, put it inside of the High John root into the oil, and that oil, I think it was, I forgot how long it takes before it lets out all that nice energies into it. I know it starts within a couple days, but it's supposed to take some time also, and you leave it in uh, a place that's not too much sun, and it tends to infuse itself. But that oil, when you wear it, is very good for a lot of things. Like Goddess Rhonda had mentioned, it's mastering a situation, it's conquering a situation, it's taking control.
Mhm.
Essentially, is taking control of situations and different types of spells depending on what it is you're asking for. They use it also in businesses, like in the registers of different shops, and it is said that a lot of the women of the streets back in the day used to carry that root around with them, and they got a lot of customers.
hmm And I also put in the chat room, I just put a link to the eBay page, an eBay page where you can buy, if you don't have the time to make the oil, because if you're applying for the job now, you know, it takes time for the oil and the herbs to marry. And you might not have the few weeks that you need for it to truly marry. So if you want to buy some, there's a link, and you can get, here's a bottle for $2.49. There's another bottle for $6.50, $3.50, $7.99. One of them has the audacity to be $29.95. I mean, for $29.95, I expect John the Conqueror to get out of the bottle and personally serve me, but that's probably not going to happen. So you can buy the oils, and you don't have to spend, if you don't have time to create, it's always best to create your own. But if you don't have the time, because it does, if you're doing an infusion, you really need a couple of weeks, maybe even 30 days for the oil and the herbs to really marry properly. And if you don't have that kind of
Yeah.
time to marry the two together, then you can go ahead and buy some and just charge it up. And eBay's not the only person that carries it. If you have a metaphysical store
Amazon.
around you,
Amazon is
they will
really good
carry
for
it
that.
too. Most metaphysical stores carry High John the Conqueror oil. So
Actually, you know where you might even find it too. I don't know if you have a Botanica, but Botanicas have them, and they're less expensive at Botanicas.
yes. So you can look there, you can get some right away, or you can go on, I'm just looking on Amazon, because Amazon can be, yeah, here you go. Here on Amazon, they have it for $3.99.
See, there you go.
$1.99.
Yeah,
You know,
and it all depends on the size of the high John root itself, because I've noticed depending on how big or small they are, that's how the prices are based also when you
right,
get it. I tend to
right.
love having the roots with me, and putting them in charm bags or different things, because they really have you take control of situations where money is concerned, or in general, period. They're great to use. I think Goddess Selena had a question too. What's the difference between high and low John herbs? Um, Hold on
Give me a second. I'm just putting in the
a
link
second.
for the Amazon.
Okay. All right. With the differences, it's honestly it's more a case of like how either you're using it or how it's being infused. um because, and again, it all depends, because I've seen people say, well, it depends on if it's in the oil, then it's low John. If it's on the root only, it's high John. It depends on how people kind of take it. I would suggest that if you got the high John root, you can use that, either the high John root or the high John oil. It can be used for any of the situations that involved where people say, oh, it's you can either lose the low or the high. To me, they're the same in terms of what you can use them for. It's just a
Right.
matter of, um, how should I put it? It's just a matter of how you take it and use it. Some people say that when you use it in love spells, it's considered low John. Some say when it's used in money or anything business wise, it's high John. I'm not exactly sure how or why they name it with the differences. And bottom line is, to me, I just use it in the terms of whenever I want to master certain situations where my finances are concerned. What about you, Goddess Rhonda?
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. I know that the High John the Conqueror is used for money, luck, um, having the power. And I was just looking at Low John, which it seems to be more for medicinal types of things, for healing. High John
Yeah.
is, you can use it for gambling. So they are two different things. But what I like, and I'm going to put Lucky Mojo, because I happen to like Lucky Mojo too. I'll put that in there because they give a lot of explanations of things. And they
Right.
use this, like what they do is they use the whole root, what they call the three johns. So you can have all of the entire root, or you can do the high john. You can order high john or low john, although Lucky Mojo is more pricey than I like to pay, but at least you can look at it. So let me just put that there
Yeah. And I
so that you
honestly,
know
if you
that.
go to a Botanica and you get the high John root, you have that. You have the whole thing that the oil and everything comes from. That they tend to infuse to make into whatever it is. You've got the root. Use it for whatever purpose that you need it for. If you want to use it in terms of healing or love, you make it more with the oil part, you infuse it more. But when it comes to the actual money part, that root, having it and walking around with it, that's helpful for just about any mastering any situation where your finances are concerned.
This is true. Okay. Hold on with me for just 1 second. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to our next one.
And hi, John. I think somebody was asking, how is it? Or I guess they were asking, how does it look? It comes in different sizes, and it is one of the hardest roots I have ever seen because I tried cutting it to. I had a big chunk of it, and I was trying to cut it down so I can use it into another bottle to put it in a bottle that I'm making for with money, my money oil. And I had the hardest time, so I had to actually go back to Botanica and get a smaller teardrops of it because it was the hardest thing to cut. I could not physically do it. So, I mean, it
Excuse me, just
depends on
one
how you want it.
second.
Huh?
Goddess Star, I actually think I have some, so if you can talk to them about it for a few minutes, I'm going to go and see if I can find mine so I can show
Yeah,
them.
I have mine somewhere, but I'm not sure if I can find it, so I'm not even going to bother. So you can
I
find it.
have
You go.
mine. Let me see if I can
Okay,
find
good. Okay, but when you are using it, it works wonders. That's all I can say. I tend to put it into my money, when I'm making money oil or job oil. One of the first things I put in, as well. Well, the base is the almond base. Again, almond is great with prosperity, wealth, money, any of those things. So that's a sweet almond base is perfect. You have the sweet almond base. Put your teardrop or whatever size bottle it can fit into. Put the high john in there, and then you add other things that you know is money oriented, like the herbs, basil, lavender, jasmine. Awesome for those things. Bayberry, bay leaves. Let's see what else. And one of the things that I did to my money oil, especially, not so much the job oil. I got a friend of mine brought me back from the mint itself, where they have all the bills that they shred. Now, the higher the denomination, the better. But she brought me back a bag of $100 bills that were shredded. And so I've had that for years, like almost 20 years now. And I keep taking out bits of it when I make new batches of money oil. And I will put shredded bits of that $100 bills into my money oil because I want to make the higher the denomination of the money or the bills that you're putting in it, in that money oil that you're blending and making, the better that money is going to be, and stronger it is and more powerful to bring money into people's lives. So what I tend to do is put that in there, and when I want to see, I'm trying to think of what else that I've added into my money. Hold on 1 second, because I know one of the best books written was by Herman Slater with all the recipes um, that he had created. Let me see what he had for what he added for money. Money and hmm. And Herman Slater, he's one of the best I know of. This is his book. It's called Magical Formulary Volume One. There's Volume One and the spell book combined with it, and there's Volume Two with the spell work as well and more additional recipes. He added frankincense, heliotrope, excellent. The bay, orange, cinnamon, cassia, sandalwood, and depending optional, you can add green coloring. I tend to not add any kind of coloring to my oils because I like to have it just the herbs and the oil. And to make it stronger, I know a lot of people just sometimes only put the oil. I tend to put both the oil and the herb so that it's very potent, it's very strong, it's very powerful. And I think I mentioned the jasmine, the lavender, the basil, all of that. And then the money, the actual denomination of money that you're putting in there. And I guarantee you, when you have that, let it sit for about a week to 2 weeks, and you open that bottle up, and it actually smells like money. It actually smells like money, and it's wonderful. And it works wonders. I also added, I remember adding um, the combination of the herbs and oils that I mentioned between Herman Slater's and my recipe. Um, is what I would call super fast money oil. It's not just money oil, it is that powerful. It brings the money in very quickly. And again, remember what I mentioned to you guys about that money spell that I said add the brown candle to make sure it stays around, because with super fast money spell, that thing comes in really fast and you do not want it to keep going out and just paying the bills. You want it to be able to um, kind of stick around and have some for you to go on vacation or different things that you want to do, or just go out and have drinks and stuff like that. Let's see. I'm trying to see. I think Mermaid Star said I work. Let's see. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Let me see what I can, if I can read you. I work at a hospital on the psychiatric unit. Would either of you goddesses recommend a particular oil crystal for maintaining well-being with physical and mental health for myself and the patient staff? Thank you so very much. Okay. My suggestion, Mermaid Star, is that lavender is really good for that. Um, so is honeysuckle. It's very calming. Lavender, honeysuckle, chamomile. The combination is, well, first of all, lavender is very calming anyways, and so is chamomile. Um, that would work really well for you and the staff. For the patients, I would add not just the lavender and the chamomile. I would add, um, oh, what was the other thing I was going to suggest? Some roses, rosebuds, or rose oil, or the combination of both. Um, it makes them very, very calming. And I remember also, hold on, there is healing. I remember there was an additional. Yes, carnation and gardenia. Very, very good for patients in that way. You can actually, what you'll use it as, because they're being patients and it's a psychiatric hospital, it's something that if is allowed, you might be able to use in an oil diffuser. So you have that combination oil and it's there, and you will burn it with the tea lights underneath. So that way you're not placing it on anyone, but the atmosphere in the room, it would help calm them down, um, and it would help make it seem very amiable and very uh, they would almost seem like if they're in Zen a bit. The combination of the oils, especially make sure it's very great essential oils, because a lot of, unfortunately, a lot of stores sell the what you call it, the chemical version of oils, and they're not really essential oils. But the really essential oils do work on the psychic nerves and different things like that, and it does help with well-being. With patients I've had, there's one client of mine that she said that she uses it. The combination is really good and it works really well. So, Goddess Rhonda, you're back. Did you find the High John?
No, of course, because I want to find it. As soon as we put the show down, I'll walk right in there and my eyes will go right to it.
Yeah, I
Right.
know. I
What I
didn't even
did
bother because
do,
I know I have it, but I just couldn't find it.
well, what
Um,
I did do is create a huge mess that I now have to clean up when this is over. But, and if I had been thinking, I'm just going to go ahead and put in the a link so that you can see what it looks like. There's images of it right online. So I'm just going to put that link, John images. And this way you can see what it looks like. So you can look at that and it'll show you all the different, it'll show you images of High John the Conqueror. And next week, by then I'll have found it, and then I can even show you the one that I have. All right,
Right, right.
so
Goddess Buddha Lady and okay, and Goddess Selena have a couple of things. Goddess Buddha Lady said, when using the High John the Conqueror oil or root, is there anything that should be said while using it?
yeah,
And
when I use mine, I say, make me the master of all of my situations. And then I
yes,
say what it is, including but not limited to. I always say including but not limited to. Make me the master of all of my situations, including but not limited to whatever situation you are trying to master. I want to be, able to work in a psychiatric unit and have the residents there, be calm and listen to me or do what I ask them to do or whatever it is. You put that in there. So make me the master of all of my situations, including but not limited to, and then say what it is that you're trying to use it for, and it will help you. Mastering the lottery, whatever it is that you want, you can go ahead and say that. And you can do that with the incense. I have High John the Conqueror incense that I like to use. I have High John the Conqueror oil. And I happen to just like the woody smell of it. I like the way it smells too. I put that in a lot of the spells that I do because it makes me the master of the energies that I am trying to put out there. So you can do
right.
that. You can use it pretty much for anything that you want. And you don't have to use my words. You can paraphrase it and say you can do.
Yeah.
And then I see someone, and then forgive me because I have these bright lights in my eyes. It looks like someone, Mermaid says, oh, I think you answered this. I work at a hospital on the psychiatric unit. A particular oil or crystal to remain. Yes. What I use, especially when I'm doing readings all day or if I'm doing healings, or today, like I had to go and do a house clearing and blessing. I don't have it on now, but I wear Numite and Astrophyllite. And Numite is called the magician's stone. It's the stone of metaphysicians, but it's known as the magician's stone. And what it does is it creates balance between the body, mind, and spirit. It keeps you balanced on that level. And the astrophyllite will keep you balanced also on the spiritual level. So wearing the two of them combined, and yes, I actually have, if you want to hang on for one more second, that I know where that is. I can go and grab it for you and I'll show you
I'm
what.
like, don't go and disappear again.
I'll be right back. I swear it'll take me 30 seconds. I'll be right back. I
Okay.
promise.
And I will answer. I think it's Goddess Selena mentioned. What is it that she mentioned? Where do you apply the money oil once it is made? One of the things is that. Wait, hold on. Let me see what Lolan said as well. If that's answering around the same thing. Um, oh yeah. Regarding the High John, I think you mentioned you can wear it as jewelry. Yes, if you can get it pierced. I'm telling you, it is the hardest root I've ever had to deal with. So it's very difficult to pierce it. If you can have someone do that, that's fine. But I would suggest majority of times with High John root, did you keep it um in the form that it is. If anything, I would not wear it as jewelry necessarily because that would mean piercing it. I don't know if it changes um, uh, the chemical balance of it or anything like that by doing so. So I would suggest just using it and carrying it in a little charm bag or something like that. Or with women, we tend to put it within our bras and things like that on our person. It all depends, but there are ways that you can carry it within your wallet or different things without, piercing it with a drill or anything like that. But I'm sure you can use it as a jewelry as well. Goddess Selena mentioned something about the money once it's already completed. Literally speaking, think about all the places that you have handled money or that where you use money. When you put it on every bill you have, and the idea is that when you have it on every bill, a bit of it on every bill, you say literally, may you come back to me in a positive manner. Because once it leaves your hand, you don't want it to just disappear and that's it. So you can literally put money oil on anything and on anywhere in the palm of your hands. every time you leave the house, every time you shake someone's hands, the positive vibes of you making money and bringing money in, or maybe that person might be able to help you bring in money into your life. Um, they may be adding something to a business or something to that will bring more money into you. You can put money oil on. Oi, there's so many places that it's kind of like blanks the mind for a minute. But literally speaking, you can put money oil on just about anything or anywhere. You don't need a lot, so nobody has to notice. I have had actually at certain points, I actually have it. Well, I don't know if you have a house or an apartment. It really does not matter. If you have a house, you can put it on the four corners of your property, pour a bit of oil into the four corners of the property. It tends, and at the gate of your front gate that you have, um, if you people have said that when they put some of the money oil at those entrances on the four corners, their property are always flowing with good fortune of money coming in. Um, if it's an apartment, the front door you can draw with the oil either on the outside if you feel like it's going to offend anyone or they may see the oil design that you make. You don't have to do it outside, but if you feel like you can get away with it, then do it. You can do the dollar sign or whatever it is, or you can create your own sigil by saying the words, say something like, for instance, let money flow through this home in a positive manner at all times, that it meets our needs. Now, if you write that out in a sentence and you do the way I've showed you guys how to do sigils, you can create a sigil from that that you will draw on your front door, whether it's on the outside or the inside part of it. But the same way that you would do that is to always keep, and the idea is, and you can say the words to it, let money flow through this home in a positive manner for all that is necessary and needed in this home for me and mine. So you can say that and do that with money. You can put money all just about anywhere because it flows through in every way, right? Doesn't it? um
Yes.
Money affect all of your parts of your life, no matter what we like to say or do. Money kind of runs just about everything you do. If you do not have it, you're unhappy. If you do not have access to it, you're unhappy. If you and you've had people, you know, say publicly on Facebook or other places, you know, things like, people have got to give me money. I'm like, this doesn't work that way. You have to put out to get back money. And if that's the way you have to send out that money, make it come back to you in a positive manner. There are people that I know that would literally use it as part of their regimen of every morning after they put on their lotion, there goes that money all over their hands. So you can put money oil just about anywhere that you want to put it. You want to add to that, Goddess Rhonda, and then on to what you went to get?
Yes. Yes. You can also put money oil on your root chakra. Your root chakra is where, that's at the base of your spine. And that is where we get our flow of money from, our life force energy, the earth energy that comes up, the fire energy. But it supports how we make our money, where we're going to get our money from. It stimulates that area. So you can wear it, put a little dot on your root chakra. You can put it on, if you need to know, I need to know where I can find the money that I need. Put some on your third eye, because that's the seat of your intuition, of where you can find that money. You can put it on the chakra of that represents what it is that you're trying to do. You can put it on money. During Lammas, I had taken all the money that I made for that week. I had saved up like the cash that I made for a couple of weeks so that I had this huge pile of money as harvest. And I blessed that money in the ceremony, that as it has blessed me, it will bless all those that who come into contact with it and
Yeah,
return to me tenfold.
yeah,
So I had my harvest of money. You can do that. You can take a bunch of cash towards the full moon, because full moon is when we harvest things, and do a harvest ceremony. You don't have to wait for the wheel of the year. You can just do one every month if you want to. Do your harvest ceremony with that money. Bless the money. You can put money oil. I used to use cinnamon oil for
yeah,
money oil. You can create your own money oil from cinnamon oil, from orange oil. Got to be careful with the citrus oils because they make you very sun sensitive. They can actually blister your skin in the sun. So you want to be
yeah,
careful with those. But you can take a pile of the money, put the oil on the money, bless the money, and say, this money has been a huge blessing to me as it has blessed me. So may it bless all those that come in contact with it. and may it return to me tenfold or threefold, or, you know, I'm greedy, so I say tenfold because I need the money. But you can
That's
say
not
whatever
greedy.
you
That's
want.
what your needs
It is
are.
what I need is what I need. If you need 20-fold
Yeah.
or 50-fold, whatever it is, you can do that. And then you have that money will go out and bless everyone. So you've done a service, and then the money will flow back to you. So you can do that. You can put a lot of people, if you're doing gambling, when they gamble, they'll put money on
Yeah.
their hands and then they'll go play cards or
Yeah.
whatever. You can put a
You
little
put it
tiny
anywhere.
dot. Don't put the oil, if you buy lottery tickets, like the Powerball or Mega Millions or one of those, that you have to fill out the card for them to run through the machine. Don't put the oil on the ticket itself, because they've got a big disclaimer on there that if this ticket is defaced in any way, you don't get the money. So keep your ticket pristine, but the card that you used to your Mega Millions card or your Powerball card or whatever lottery card that you use for your state that you had to put, fill in the dots of the numbers that you want, you can put your oil on that card and do a blessing ceremony with it,
Right.
because that's going to keep still pumping it out. And then you don't have to worry about defacing the ticket itself in case you win and they're like, oh, this ticket's all jacked up, it's got oil stains or it got faded, we can't use it, it's no good anymore. You can use that card that you are using that actually goes into the machine. Put a little dab on the corners of it and do your lottery spell with that. Or you can create a lottery candle and carve the numbers that you want to win with that particular game, and then you can anoint the candle with the money oil. I mean, there's really no limits. If as big as your
Yeah.
imagination
Limitless. You're right.
is how many things you can put that money oil on.
And people have actually put it on their business cards as well. So, I mean, and as Goddess Runner just mentioned about the third eye, I just remembered also, I have had people say they use it on their temples and they go to sleep. And when they wake up, they have more ideas for their business that has brought them in lots of money. So
Hmm.
you can use money oil. There's like she said, it is limitless. There's so many ways that you can find to wherever it is that brings you in, coming and going. um, hey, do it, because if it could bring that back to you in a positive manner and keep flowing through and blessing you and yours, more power to you.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to put the Numite and the Astrophyllite links into the chat room. Just bear with me for just one moment. I've almost got this.
And I think we didn't even get to do the rest of the spells we wanted to do, and it's 10 minutes to go.
Of
It's
course,
11, it's
well, that's
11:20.
okay.
Huh?
We can save. Actually, you know what? I think it's more important that we're answering everybody's questions. I think that needs
Absolutely,
to.
yes.
So
Absolutely.
we can always give you the spells, but I'm actually enjoying, that you guys are engaging with us and asking us questions, because the more questions you ask, the more we can clarify, and then the better your spells will work. So I would much rather spend
Yep.
time going over your questions to make sure that you're manifesting what you want to the fullest of your ability than to ramble on about spells that I can tell you about anytime. It's more important that we assist you with your questions. So for
Yeah.
those of you that wanted to see, and I did post the links for Numite and Astrophyllite, I wear this particularly when I'm doing a lot of readings or if I'm doing house clearings and things like that. This one is my Numite, which you can get in pendants, rings, bracelets. And then I have a small Astrophyllite pendant that I wear with it. Oh, wait, there it's backwards. That's it. That I wear with it. So I wear the two of them layered on top of each other, and it keeps me balanced. It keeps me energized. It brings in light from the eighth chakra, the one above your head. It brings in that divine light and can keep you very nicely balanced. And you can also do a dual kind of a spell so that as it brings you peace and balance, so may it bring peace and balance to those that you come in contact with. So you could, if you can wear this on the floor of the psychiatric unit or anything like that, or bracelet, a ring, or even if you're not allowed to wear outward jewelry, tuck it in your bra, put it in a pocket, something like that, and that can really help you a lot, is Numite and Astrophyllite. I also have Numite, and you can get these on eBay or a place that sells crystals. You can just look them up and you'll find them. I have a Numite and a Stropholite wand, and often if I'm just overly taxed, I will go to sleep holding them in my hands, and I feel better when I wake up. And also when I'm doing healing work on people, when I'm doing Reiki, I have them hold these to start balancing out their energies on all levels as I work on them. So I strongly suggest Numite and Astropholite to help you stay balanced, to keep all of the bodies, the auric body, the chakra body, the physical body, the etheric body, the astral body, all of the bodies together, the aura balanced and clear, particularly if you're doing taxing or stressful or emotionally stressful work. These will really help you a lot to keep yourself together. Okay, did we answer all of the questions?
I think so, from the chat room.
It looks like we did. I didn't realize that using my therapeutic grade essential oils is a way to empower myself. Oh yeah, absolutely. Infused with intentions. Yeah, I think we've got all of the questions answered. So good. Okay. So it's already, wow, the 2 hours have already gone by, of course. Let's see. Let me just bring up what we have left. We only got through 2 things.
That's what I was trying to say.
Well, that's okay. You know what?
I'm glad that we were able to answer people's questions, honestly.
I do think it's more important to answer your questions. I really, really do. And if you join us, please join us again next week. And then we're going to go over the health spells, beauty spells, love spells, cleansing and uncrossing, and protection spells. And we'll try to move it along a little bit more so that we can get a couple more in. But don't worry, we will get all of these spells done for you. I think the money spells and the job spell, I think that's really important. It was important for us to answer those
right
questions.
now for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Honestly, because people are hurting with that, and I'm glad we were able to get those 2 done for you.
Absolutely, absolutely. We will start off with our next show. We'll start off with health spells because a lot of us also have health issues that we need to deal with. And a lot of metaphysicians will find that they are subject to multi-level, like autoimmune things that attack various parts of the body. I have Lyme disease, which is autoimmune and attacks different things. It's attacked my brain. It's attacked my joints. I'm sure Goddess Star has her own issues that she has as well. And so in a lot of these illnesses that we carry are because we're such empaths that we take on other people's energies. I missed you for a second there, Goddess Star. You disappeared for 1 second. I was telling our listeners that we're going to start off.
I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened either. But I was just telling them that we're going to start off, because this is really equally important, with health spells. Because I was saying, a lot of metaphysicians, we have what I call multi-level or multi-pain in the neck spells. Like I have Lyme disease, which is an autoimmune spell that has already attacked my brain, my joints, has made me put on a tremendous amount of weight. There's a lot of issues with that. And then I'm sure you have your own health issues, Goddess Star.
Right. Yes. I have lupus, and it's very suddenly came on from someone who's never been sick in their life, not even a cold or anything, like, to have lupus, and that was in 2010 being diagnosed. And it's made me, I lived that before that, and yoga and everything. It's at what, 130 or something like that, and now it's like 100. So it was not fun knowing that I was like, okay, I'm not tipping the scale past that. I know what I have to do. I'm going to get myself better and get going. And I'm glad to say things are on the looking up now, and I'm really happy about that. So I would love to do, I can't wait to do the healing spells with you guys.
I want to do those too. I'm really excited about that. And they really do work. Just because you have an illness, and people go, you're so strong and powerful, how can you have an illness? Well, you know what? I have a human body, and it's going to be subject to diseases of this world. But I was diagnosed in 1992, and a lot of people with Lyme disease are in wheelchairs. They're crippled. There's all kinds of things. And here I am, regardless, still going strong. So I can really
You,
testify to
yeah,
the effectiveness of these health spells. Because if they can keep me
yeah,
going,
me too.
they can definitely keep you going.
Yes, me too. Because honestly speaking, I had on March 30th, I did both knees. I had bilateral knee surgery to help because my knees had gotten so bad that I could barely walk. The pain was so bad. And when my surgeon told me the next day when she woke me up, she said that had I gone a little bit longer, I would have been crippled for life. So I am pleased to say that it's what I'm in the fifth month now, and I'm walking around, and people are like, "I can't believe you had both knees done. You do not look like you're not walking like someone who just had both knees done." And I'm at the gym. I'm at the gym. I'm trying to work out 4 to 5 times a week now. The different things that the therapist told me to do. So I'm stunning a lot of people with my coming back so quickly and being able to keep going. So I believe in our health spells. I believe in our belief in how we want what we want from our bodies, because as witches we have to be able to master that. And that's another way that we can use the high John, and different things like that. And we have the ideas that we're going to let you guys know about on our thoughts. And we'd love to hear from you guys as well. What ailments you have, what things that you have
Yes.
going on. You can share with us. You can let us know, maybe even beforehand. You can either say it within the group on Facebook and let us know, so we could come up with ideas and thoughts for you and customize it according to your illnesses. Okay, so it gives, because we would like to work things very much. Again, Goddess Rhonda have said this many times at the end of the show. This show, we're doing it, but we're really doing it for you. We want
Mhm.
to help in as much as possible ways that we can. And if we can pass on that knowledge and share it with you,
Mhm.
again, we are blessed in doing it. Um, and share the knowledge with people that will understand and want to be part of this. So if you let us know ahead of time, we could also work around the spells pertaining to illnesses, because every illness has a different way of how you deal with it. Um, and the ideas and the thoughts. And we're talking not just spell wise, but also how your doctor will tell you to work with things, how we would suggest herbally or whatever it is, natural ways, whatever it is that we can think of, we can all share with each other and make things work to help one another. Bottom line. Okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So please join us next week. Even if you don't have an illness, if you know someone who does that you can pass these tips on to, by all means, please join us and we will go over a lot of health spells with you to help you deal with various kinds of emotional illnesses, physical illnesses, spiritual illnesses, whatever it is we can help you out with. And again, before the show, please, as Goddess Star suggested, by all means, join our Priestess View group. If you go to Facebook, you'll see, you can just put into the search the Priestess View group, and that's where we put all of our spells and various informations. And you can either, or send us, if you want, you can send us a private message if you don't want to post publicly in that group, to let us
Yeah.
know what kind of ailments you would like us to offer treatments for on a metaphysical level. The different oils and herbs and energy work that we can do to help ourselves out. We've got a ton of them. And the thing is, you're talking to the people that should be like being rolled around on a gurney with our various illnesses, and we're still strong and doing what we need to do. So these tips and these spells do work, and they can help you. So please, join us again next week. Again, we are sorry that our show got started so late. We had all kinds of technical difficulties, but we have prevailed, and
And
we
we made it up.
persevered,
And we
and
made it up at the end here with you guys. And
we
thank
did
you
not
for,
give up. We were determined that we were going to do this
yeah,
show, and
yeah.
we finally managed to pull it off. So thankfully we did that. So please join us next week. Like our Facebook page. Please join our Priestess View group so that you can have access to all of our various spells and candles and things that we're doing. And of course, We always honor and appreciate you and all of the
Yeah.
support that you give us. So in closing, hail and farewell, our lords and ladies of the elements and the directions. We thank you so much for your kind service and release your energy back to its source. And blessed be.
Blessed be. And from both of us, Goddess Rhonda and myself, merry meet
Very
and merry
good.
meet again.
Very good again. Yay, we did it in synchronicity. I can't even talk anymore. But that's okay. We love you and thank you, and we look forward to
Yeah.
seeing you next week.
Oh, and thank you so much, Goddess Aida and Goddess everyone that was there earlier for sticking with us and saying, I'm going to wait till you guys can solve the technical problems and come on. Thank
Yes,
you guys. And
yes, thank you. And thank you for
okay.
all of your great questions. Your
Yeah.
questions were great. And you know, when you ask us a question, you also help us to learn things too. We don't know everything. So if I have to
Yeah.
look something up, you're actually contributing to our knowledge, our edification. So we
Yeah.
thank you for that as well.
Yes. All right.
All right,
Bye-bye, everyone.
we will see you
Take
next
care.
week. Stay blessed and good night.
Night.